Alright. We'll see if we get anybody in here. I'd love to have a chat. Sensi, what are you doing? Stop it. Sensi, stop. Yeah, stop licking. He has a very bad habit of licking his paws until they're raw. He's been doing it since he was young. Sensi, no! Stop. And I've got to repeatedly yell at him over and over and over again. Nothing has ever worked. See the little licking thing he does? Yep. It's just some sort of... And it's gotten worse since he was poisoned. He really doesn't listen to me anymore ever since then. He's very lethargic, and unfortunately it's seemingly like his brain is turning to mush now because of the poison. It's real sad. He's my baby. But he'll get the best life any dog can have. He really will. Mickey, be good. Moosey. Hey, Moose. 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 Sensi, stay. It's okay, Moose. Hey. Oh, my good boy. Yes, you're my good boy. Mickey, why you always gotta growl at Sensi? Sensi just beat you up so bad 2 weeks ago. Or a week ago. And now you have no front teeth because you tried biting him yesterday and lost a tooth. So you really gotta chill out. Sensi, go. I know. I shouldn't be smoking. Especially on a bicycle trip like this. It's really killing me. Hurts my legs, makes me real tired. But it's my own fault. I'm adding more to this trip than is needed because of that. And my watch used to be glow in the dark, but it doesn't do it anymore. It's a real shame. It's 9:40. Alright, well, that was hard. So I lost my headlight today, I think. I lost a couple things on the trip. I don't pack up right, and then just set it on top of something, and all of a sudden it's gone. Hello. Hello, hello. I see no Sensi moose go. Wish I knew how to chat on this, but I don't. So I don't know who you are, but I'll show you my puppies. This is our tent site. Let me get the flash on. There we go. I'll show you everything. All right. This is Mickey. Sensi, stop that. That's Sensi. He likes to bite himself. And then that's Moose. Got all my stuff inside of here. Got my food. Got my front pouch. Got my 2 different types. All my junk. Got protection. My jackery. Kind of out in the middle of nowheres, but right off the interstate. The interstate's right up there. So unfortunately, I had to come down through here tonight and do some not so stealthy camping. I've already had a gentleman come up to me and asked me if I was okay. He thought I'd flipped over the guardrail and scared the crap out of me. But, you know, it's lovely people in this world. You just got to open up your arms and be a nice person. It's so hard to switch the camera, and then, I don't know, the options in here need to be updated. That's for sure. Thanks for the thumb up. Please subscribe if you haven't. We need all the subscribers we can get. We just started this trip, so you know, it's gonna be a long one. So we need all the subscribers and all the criticism we can get. I'm in a very mountainous state, we'll say that. I'm climbing, right now I'm about 8,000 feet. So it's a pretty big state. It's a beautiful state. It's a green state. It's forests and mountains. I don't want to give the exact location or the state, but I mean there's only a few states that are completely mountainous states. So the trailer is holding up pretty good. Let me bring you over to it. I reinforced it with chicken wire at a farm I was at. The gentleman let me do that. Gave me the chicken wire. The one concern I had was the tires. They were buckling with all the, but they're pretty straight now. This one's a little kilted, but as you can see, that's kind of the problem. Is the axle wants to bend a little bit. So I'm gonna have to keep on adjusting my weight. It's a very, very good trailer. Better be. It was expensive. The bike is having some problems. I'm getting some clicking noises inside of here. I definitely got to inflate my tire, but a problem with that is the wherever it is, the valve right there, it's not taking my pumps for some reason. It's gunked up or something like that. So I might have to just I got my tires, my brand new tires. I might just replace these and then just, you know, just suck it up and get rid of them, because it's there's a lot of weight to bring on this trip. You know, that's the biggest problem is when you lose everything, you don't want to lose everything. It sucks, you know. So at the last farm I was at, I had to give him a big bag, maybe a 10-pound bag of my clothes and random bits and pieces that I brought. He's gonna mail it up to me, Maryland. I slipped up there. Oh well. He's gonna mail it to Maryland when I make it there safely. And I still got a lot more weight to get rid of, unfortunately. I got to get rid of probably another 30-40 pounds of stuff, honestly. I need to go as light as possible. Minimalistic is the goal. Sensi, get away from Mickey. Sensi has been starting trouble all day. No, Moose, stay. I'm gonna bring Sensi out of here. Moose, stay. Moose, go lay down. Come on, Sensi. 1 foot at a time. Come on, go. Moose, stay. There he goes. Yeah, that's the problem, you know. It's so hard. It really is. You want to keep on bringing. Oh, thank you also by the way with my puppies. They're my little babies. They get better than I do, that's for sure. So actually everything that I got, half the reason I'm overloaded is because I need a lot of stuff for them, you know, to make sure that they're cared for. And so yeah, it's it definitely sucks, you know. I'm probably not going to have much left by the end of this trip, but I'd rather have, let me switch back over here. I'd rather have the trailer than all my stuff and walking my dogs, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of, it's a give and take thing right now, unfortunately. But the trip just started, so it's going to be a lot of fun stuff on the way. Tonight I was supposed to go over to Disperse Camping, and unfortunately the hill was just too big. Seems over here that until I can get out of the woods and actually pump up my back tire just a pinch too, I'm going extremely slow. Actually, when I go downhill, my bike slows down, and that's kind of an issue. Sensi, come on. Come on, buddy. So, hold on 1 second. Let me, Moose, go. God, these options are terrible. All these extra buttons to push. Sensi, come on, bud. Up. Okay. I don't want to show him because he's going to the bathroom. Good boy. I really need to stop smoking cigarettes. It's really bad. I picked that up on the trip, actually. I was vaping, and it just deemed too hard to get vape juice. So, you know, I need to quit the cigarettes, though. They're not helping me. Vaping didn't help me. It just makes my legs hurt. You feel real fatigued, like every 5 minutes. So, where did you travel from? I see the way you worded that. You started with a lot, ended with a little bit. What kind of traveling have you done? Sensi, come on, bud. Nice, right on. Okay. I wanted to do the Appalachian Trail. Years ago, I had a Pekingese, 16-year-old dog, and he couldn't walk. Sensi, come on. Sensi, where'd you go? And I wanted to walk him across America, but I ended up buying a garden wagon. Oh, only 9 days? Hey, it's okay though, man. 9 days is a really long time on the Appalachian Trail. That's a really hard, pardon me, that's a hard trail to take. So don't look at it as giving up, you know, like our bodies can only do so much. You didn't mentally give up, I'm sure, you know, just, I mean, physically, I'm in a very rough spot right now, honestly. And it's okay though, because, I mean, I put myself in a position where, Sensi, there you are, bud. Come on. I put myself in a position where I had to go. Come on. Had no choice in the matter. Come on inside, Sensi. Go boy, go. Yeah, that's very true actually. Same here. My backpack was terrible when I first started the trip, and then there we go. When I first started the trip, and it's getting a lot better now. I'm really building up the muscle. Yeah, for sure they will. Actually, day by day, it's seemingly easier and easier. Once I get that tire pump too, it's going to be a lot better. There's a lot of traffic. I'm right next to some sort of rich person estate or something like that, and there's a lot of people driving up there. I guess they're all getting out of work or something like that. Oh look, there's 2 people on now. That's cool. Yeah, we're not stealth camping at all. We're very obvious camping. Yesterday was the same thing. It was very obvious camping. I was just in the middle of a field surrounded by all these new houses, and I woke up to people driving around me and waving and stuff. Hunker down, yes. I love Steve Wallace. Steve Wallace, Camping with Sam Bananas. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I'm trying to talk him into meeting up with me because I'm going through his home state, and I have a membership on Patreon for him. Right on, cool. Yeah, he's awesome. I love Steve too. He is one of my favorites, absolutely, and AB Camping too. Although he's a little rude, unfortunately. Stuck up, I guess you could say. But I feel really bad for Steve. You know, my heart goes out to the guy because it's taken him a long time to feel better about the passing of his wife. You know, it's taken a while for him to get back into the play of things. But Sam Bananas, he's going up in the world now, man. I really like him. He just got back from Ireland. Ireland with his wife, and he got a what are those called? Those little clone, or God, what's the name of it? You know, those little cameras that fly around, whatever they're called. Yeah, pretty dang close to the road, as you can see. But yeah, anyways, drone, there it is. Thanks, man. He got a new drone, and he's been working on that, and his last video, he incorporated fishing into it and kayaking, and he's been branching out more and more and more, and his shots are absolutely amazing. He is very artistic with his camera footage, just like Steve Wallace. Yep. That's yeah, I don't watch too much more, so, but those the camping videos and that chapter is one of my favorites. Although I haven't watched today's episode, I'm a little disappointed in myself. How long do you think this trip is going to take me? What's your guess? Yes, that's right on. Yeah, that chapter's awesome. Mike is a really positive guy, you know. I don't even know what else to say about that. He's such a good dude. 5 to 6 weeks. Right on. Hey, I appreciate that. I was shooting for about 2 months. So, and I mean, that's right around the point, you know. The only trouble, I got to take my time. Slow wins the race. The problem is just the mountains right now. I didn't expect that one hill would drain my battery completely because, just the amount of torque that I need. Um, but if I slow, that's going to be the hardest thing is getting through these mountains. And if I take it slow and just enjoy it, not stress out, if I got to camp, if midday because I'm screwed, I got to do it. Um, you know, I got to stop relying on stores and whatnot. A problem of mine, I just got stuck at a Conoco for 2 days charging, and slept in that person's front yard and woke up and then went there again to go charge because it's the back and forth kind of killed me for the start of the day. And after a whole day charging, trying to beat the rain, um, it didn't end up raining after all, which is ridiculous. I waited for nothing. I really could have probably been at dispersed camping by now. So but I mean, slow wins the race, So uh, I gotta just learn from that and not rely so much on stores, except for food, and things like that. But it was hard to leave because they were really nice people, and everybody wanted to hear my story, and yeah, I'm a little bit too loyal sometimes to people I don't even know, but I don't see that as a bad thing. I think in this world, we all need more loyalty, and more compassion in the world and everything. Oh, maybe you can see this. Yeah. Beautiful moon tonight. It is gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Can't really see it, but I feel like if I turned on the light, it would ruin that. But you can see those gorgeous mountains in the background, and there's like it's one of those elk kind of places. Then the guardrail, of course. But but yeah, that's a gorgeous moon right there. It's slowly going away. I could die out here happy, but my uh, they don't they don't deserve this. That's why the trailer is so important. It's like like a luxury dog camper or something. They run to it, they love it actually, and it's really nice seeing that because I put a lot of work into it. So um, yep, I think I might be up for some rainy days soon. Um, it seems like it's catching up now. There's not really much I can do about that. So you know, but it's nice. Get to listen to music. I'm a loner, so I'm a social loner. I don't know how to say that. Social butterfly loner, and I say a lot. I'm gonna have to get over that one. A lot of epiphanies on this trip, learning a lot about myself. I've taken a few of these though. I back in 2011. Oh, yes, yep, most definitely. That's what I love about it. You really push yourself on these kind of trips, and you get to really, we can watch all the shows we want of people going doing endurance. The TV show Alone, all that stuff, and we look at it as so extreme, and folks don't realize that there's thousands and thousands of people living like that in America, but it's not for 30 days. It's their life. And they don't get paid for it. So we glorify this kind of stuff a lot in TV, but it doesn't even match up to the reality of it. It's lethal. I mean, I got blisters on my arms and my neck right now, and this weather, it feels freezing, even though it's like 60 something degrees here. I'm just shivering. And that's part of the challenge. At the end of the day, we're humans. We can survive a lot more than we think. Um, Look at all those wars we've had and people that have came out of some of the most extreme situations. And you're right. That's part of the fun. I hate to say it that way, but part of the fun and the joy of life is really getting yourself out there and seeing what you're made of, because we have a lot more potential than most of the world even realizes. We have a lot more heart too. Technology and the cities get us all wrapped up, and You know, narcissism is just a product of technology and civilization, in my opinion. You know, when you're on the road and you're in the middle of the woods and stuff, people really got a heart, and they really do. Um, it's hard to find that kind of thing when you're inside of a house, or when you got some roommates that you don't get along with, or um, you accidentally move in with the wrong people, like I did, and you just get grief the whole time. You get condemned. I was basically there to do work trade at the house, and I was doing work trade, and one of my biggest concerns was my epilepsy. I'm very forward about that. I spread a lot of awareness, and I get looked at as kind of a liar, I guess. Like I have an agenda or something. But I really don't. The only agenda I have is just being nice to people. It's you get back what you give, and live up. It's make life beautiful. But there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing that take advantage of that, and you never know until it's too late. Just the biggest thing is, I got stuck. 110 degrees every day with 3 dogs, and there was no way to leave. I had to save up money, and I wasn't only making $400 a month after work trade for rent, because that's all that my friend could afford. And the old man there kept on messing with me. I don't know how to say it. He was asking questions and recording in his pocket the whole time, starting trouble, and and then he would go talk behind my back, uh, like ask me questions, and then if I answered it in such a way, he would spin that around and go talk bad about me, and there was no way uh, to talk through it. I guess I don't know how to say it. I was looked at as a liar for 7 months. Yeah, me neither, man. Or I said, man, I'm sorry. Orphan, I'll just call you. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's too much hate around people like that. It's like positive energy is a gasoline for them because they can't create it themselves, so they have to steal it from other people. I mean, this is how crazy it was. The old man had some tweakers from across the street because they didn't have power, um, and they paid him $20 to come use the power. And what he did was he told them to come at night and screw with me. And they sat outside my wall all night long, charging up, coughing. They were smoking their, tweak, whatever it is, screaming out there, banging on my wall. And I had enough of it, and I ended up calling the police. The old man went out to the officer, and bear in mind, I hadn't slept for like 2 days at that point. It was getting crazy. I was having seizures nonstop. With epilepsy, you need your sleep. And I went out there, and the first thing the officer says to me after the old man ran up to him and was whispering stuff was, he said, "How much speed have you taken?" And I said, "What the fuck are you talking about? How much speed have I taken?" He said, "I don't do drugs. I'm all natural." He said, "I haven't slept for 2 days because of these people outside of my wall." And he says, "I don't think there was anybody outside of your wall. I think you're hallucinating." And I said, "This is fucking bullshit." And then he threatened to arrest me for saying fucking bullshit on my property, or property I was renting from. Yeah. And so I flipped him off at that point, and he walked up to me aggressively, and I hopped inside of the house, and I told him, I said, "This is a First Amendment protected activity. You can't do that." I said, "I'm on my property. I'm not disturbing the peace. I'm not doing anything wrong. I called you. I'm the victim." And he started telling me that there's new rulings that that make it so you can't swear. He said he could pull it up on Google or something like that, but the fact is he couldn't. You can't change the First Amendment. You really can't. And the Supreme Court's not going to do that after all the years of fighting. So to make a long story short, the old man couldn't get me out. I mean, my dogs were happy. They were in the yard. It was beautiful. And no matter how much they beat me up, it doesn't matter. I went to the hospital like all the time. And Well, not all the time. I'm not going to say that. I only went a couple times, but it was both times when the owner went away, and I had to sit there and deal with the old man. Yeah, nope. That's one of the scary things, man. I really could have been in one of Mike's videos because I'm the reason why I can't tell you the state I'm in right now is they're tracking me somehow, or the old man is. Every day when I wake up, within 2 minutes, I'm getting a text message. If I'm doing certain things, I get asked interesting questions surrounding that. I think. I mean, I could just be going crazy from all the stuff, but something seems really weird, but the biggest concern is the old man paid somebody, I think, to hurt me. He's convinced a lot of people that I'm the source of his problems, and the only backing I have for that is the guy that lives there that believed all the lies. By the way, that was the worst part. I ended up moving out because when you have a friend that sits there and watches somebody else hurt you, and then directly says that you're lying, even though all you want, is to live and let live. You don't want the problems. It's like the drama approaches, it comes to you, you know? Yes, exactly. I'm going to distance myself. And that's kind of why I'm being so secretive on the videos is they think I'm going a certain direction. And it was really scary because there was people tracking me on Facebook, through the people you may know. If you don't have any mutual friends, it's usually somebody that's came and looked at your profile. And within about 5 minutes of being asked if I wanted a ride to Salt Lake City, I said yeah. And then all of a sudden I have all these junkies looking me up on Facebook. And then I'm asked if I want to go camping in the mountains my last night when he drops me off. And no, 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 no. That's where I thought I was going to be in one of Mike's videos. And I only had one choice from that point, which is to go through Moab. And I was going to go to Salem, Oregon originally, but there was just a lot of sketchy stuff in between, right? Right? It was ridiculous, I'm a smart guy, and it was crazy, man. Too many things were lining up, and it all was adding to it was the boiling point was me disappearing. My mother has a track of me right now, and I've already told her if she goes 2 days without not seeing me on the GPS or not talking to me, then to call the police. She's going to know my last known whereabouts because it could be me missing. I have my protection. I have my 9mm, but I mean, when you're asleep, there's only so much you can do. Somebody finds you. I don't want to be graphic, but all it takes is a machete through a tent, and then you're done. Yeah, for real. The protection was the smartest thing I have, and the Moose, the corgi, he let me turn you around. Moose the corgi right there. He is a badass. He sounds like a German Shepherd when he barks, and yeah, got to be very careful. When somebody's looking for you, especially a narcissist, they don't like the fact that I got out of there. And the last few days, I said to all my friends, I said, this isn't going to just end right now because I'm moving. I said, there's going to be a boiling point because this is all a calming before the storm. No narcissist will or sociopath, or even antisocial personality disorder will let somebody go without trying to hurt them extremely bad and then blaming them for all of the things that they did. They can't let somebody go and become a guilty person. So it was ridiculous. There was even a point where I was told that if I didn't show them my photos in my phone or something, and the messages in my phone, and then delete a bunch of messages, that I wouldn't get a ride. And yeah, or sabotage the journey. That was a big problem. The old man, he brought his truck somewheres, and he had somebody do a couple $100 worth of work supposedly, but I really think what he did was he went and put some sort of like GPS on his truck, because we had to take his truck to get up here. And it's kind of where everything went awry and it got real scary. Was he kept on walking up to my door and saying like, oh, so I got the truck fixed, and I'm doing this tomorrow with it, and I'm gonna have some guy take a look at it. And I just got to ask John for a little bit of money. And then he told me he wanted like $30 or something. And I thought in my head, well, that's around the price of an iPhone tracker tab, those little things. And I looked online and it right up to a T, that's what it was. And I know he put a tracker in the truck, and that's not crazy to think when somebody's coming after you like that. AirTag, yeah, that's what it is. Because we had a Walmart maybe a few miles away, and he was literally out every single day doing something weird and telling me he was preparing the truck for the trip. He did nothing to the truck except for the trackers, and I can guarantee it. So, yeah, that's where I'm worried the most, because he's convinced that the meth heads that were across the street that were fucking with me, that I did something to him. And he also he lost, like, from last month till now, probably $5,000-6,000 between a scam for the Publishers Clearinghouse and then some sort of gambling scam I was told about. And the Publishers Clearinghouse thing, he's telling everybody he's getting 50 to 100,000, maybe $1,000,000, like blah blah blah, and offering to give people money. Like, it's that's just the manipulation of it all. And the last day I was there, yeah, yeah, seriously. He is a Buffalo Bill, man, and the scary part about it was he was a tractor trailer truck driver his whole life. Started in New York, and I'm a firm believer that his attitude and what his ways, because he gets a sadistic smile and this, like, almost like he gets turned on when he's starting fights between people. He'll create the pyramid and start two sides of trouble, and then he's over on the side watching it, breathing heavy with a smirk on his face. Um, Sketchy dude. I've always thought that he was a murderer, like a serial killer or something. And just the way he acts and being a semi truck driver his whole life, there's something else there for him to have this kind of an attitude. You don't live a solitary life on the road and then come back and have this way of manipulation and hurting people and stuff like that. When he started poisoning my dog, that's when it was all over. He was, yeah, yeah, guaranteed there is. I guarantee that. And maybe even more than that, because maybe boys. I've had the neighbors tell me that they've always thought that he was a secret gay guy, kind of like a John Wayne Gacy is what I always pictured him as, as just having a sketchy secret life or something like that. But he woke up at like 3:30 in the morning after all things were failing, trying to get me to stop doing the work trade. The money was stacking up, and there was no way he could get out of the contract with the other guy that was buying the house if the other guy was paying me to do work. So, and Harry didn't have any money, so like they tiled the floors, and basically, yeah, no, never. Actually, he's offered me food before, and I turned it down. We got into many fights because I would hear the freezer door opening, and I would go out there, and he's sitting there touching my food and opening it up and smelling it. Or one time he took my hamburger patties out of the package, which it was a small package, put it inside of a bigger Ziploc bag, which makes no sense, and then says to me, "Oh, hey, I put your meat inside that other bag." And I said, "Geez, thanks, Harry. Now I can't eat that meat." And I gave it to the other guy's girlfriend. I think they threw it away because it doesn't make sense, And so I was very worried the whole time. And the poisoning of the dog was because he knew he wasn't able to get me. I was too on point, so he had to hurt my dogs. On Instagram under Sensi Productions, I have a couple of the videos of the poison in the yard, and he didn't just put it on plants and spot, poison. He put it in the dirt and everywhere, all over the yard. Now, my blind dog, he sticks his nose in the ground to smell where he's going, and he keeps it there. It's just what he's always done since he went blind. And, after the day one, I went to the dispensary. I came back maybe 20 minutes, and I see all this green goo all over the yard, everywhere. And I honestly didn't really think much about it. I didn't really know what it was, And sorry, just had to look. Thought I heard something. And I brought my dogs out later after it was dry. I mean, again, who would have thought anything of that? You know, it's I tried letting them walk around away from it in other spots. Within 20 minutes between that and coming inside, Sensi was his his arms were giving out on him. He couldn't walk, and I picked him up, and he was dying in my arms. I don't know how to describe that. It was the other two dogs weren't affected, but with Sensi, he sticks his nose in the ground, you know, and the other dogs started getting affected too, of course, because in windy Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, it's complete 110 degrees. It dries up. There's dust that blows all the time. Everybody in that house was sick from this poison that he was putting in the yard, and they all thought I was lying. I had videos on it, and they told me I was a liar. Um, and it was really quite ridiculous that the woman that was living there would complain so much about poisons in the house or something like that, or insisting that Harry was poisoning her. But then she would go out in the front yard and hang out there all morning. So you can't complain about something if you're putting yourself in the place, in my opinion, that's being poisoned. And then you know, I mean, it's at that point it's accountability, you know. Um, it's ridiculous. So yeah, there was a lot of flack, man. I got in trouble for a lot of stuff, and I never did anything to any of those people. Whoop, excuse me. I get a cigarette here. So I'm happy I'm away from them, and I think anybody that's in a situation like that shouldn't wait as long as I did. I mean, I was stuck. I couldn't walk my dogs out of that place. You know, 110 degrees with three dogs walking on 150-degree pavement. It, you know, it would have burned and hurt them, and you know, I couldn't do that to my babies. Yeah, it really is. It is. And after day one of being away, you know, I'm already basically. No, I can't say I'm healed already because I'm still kind of messed up and scared at night sometimes and stuff. But um, you know, there you can't just sit there, right? Yeah, I feel a lot lighter. It feels like I'm a new person, actually. Like it's a new chapter. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I could have taken a train too, with my dogs. I had the money at the time. What is that? There we go. It's asking me if I want to show that. I guess there's another moderator. For some reason they didn't let all the bullshit melts go on here. But in my opinion, that's not I don't like the direction that YouTube is going right now, honestly. Oh, I hope they didn't kick you off, Orphan. We're gonna add you as a moderator, and they can't. All right, there we go. And now you can't. Now they can't mess with you. Yeah, yeah. But it's ridiculous, you know. They're working with Google right now and everything, and every other day they're creating new guidelines, and it's ridiculous. But I think if by making you the moderator, it probably I think it gives you more privileges or something. So, you know, I think conformity is ridiculous. That's half the reason I had all the problems over there. Is they were societal people, you know. They wanted to be what everybody wants them to be. They didn't want to be themselves. So, um, yeah, it's a crazy world out here, man. But not in a bad way. I mean, you just can't get stuck. Like you said, you know, you feel lighter when you leave, and then you just got to avoid that energy that got you in that position in the first place. Um, there's it's very easy to see it, you know. You gotta look for the overly nice people, I guess, in such a way, because I'm overly nice. I'm very presentable, but I was a street marketer for a long time, and used to walk around and, you know, sell people things. I could sell a blind man glasses, I used to say, and make him appreciate them. Um, and you just never really, you can't really tell sometimes with people, you know. I couldn't tell with these folks until maybe, well, with the old man, I could tell with him in the first week. Um, he was following me around, and if I would turn on the cold water and get a drink, he would literally walk in front of me because I would let it run for 10 seconds to clear the pipes, and he would turn it off on me and say, "Don't do that." And then I'd turn it back on and say, "Well, I will do that because I live here and I want to have fresh water." Um, if just dumb stuff like that. I got in trouble for putting toast inside of the oven. He ran out of the house coughing and gagging. Yeah, you got to, I mean, it settles in there, and fluoride is pretty evil, and if you do that flushing, it gets rid of a little bit of that fluoride and gets the pipes moving a little bit. So, yeah, he hopped up when I was making toast and ran out of the house coughing and gagging, and came back inside with a tissue on his nose, telling me that I just caused a nosebleed by whatever I'm cooking in there, and I've got to stop using the oven. And all of my food was for the oven at the time. And I said, no. So the next day I get a call from John, and there might have been like a few piles of poop in the front yard. I had just moved there. And the day before, I even apologized to Harry and said I was going to be doing this the next day because I just needed a week rest for this move. And I got a call from John, and there was a woman in an RV outside, and Harry went out to her and complained about the poo as soon as I told him that I was going to pick it up. He went out and started some trouble, and then she called up John's sister, and John's sister told his mother, and blah blah blah. And I had a whole crew of family people yelling at me for something that I was going to do maybe 1 hour after that, and I was only there a few days, it's a yard. It's not like there was much poo there. I'm big on picking up the poo at houses because I don't want to step in it, and so you'd think being forward and apologizing would be something that people would appreciate, and that was something that wasn't appreciated in that house ever. If I was forward and I need to do something, the air conditioner, that was another problem. After Sensi got sick, the air conditioner was something that was helping him. He was overheating, and I'd go turn on the air conditioner. I'd say, "Hey, I'm going to turn this on for 5 minutes. It's like 90 degrees in the house, and Sensi's overheating." As soon as I would walk away, he would walk back up to it and shut it off, and then go say to John that I'm lying. So I would go out there and turn it back on and tell him to go fuck himself, and tell him to stop fucking with my dog because he's already almost murdered my dog with the poison. And then that would always start a screaming match where he would say, "I didn't do that. That was the neighbors doing it, or somebody snuck inside of our yard to do it. I'm sick and tired of people calling me a liar." Yeah, no, they really are. They really are sadists, honest to God. And it was like a good cop, bad cop situation, just like you're saying. The gang up was this one guy would target me and really mess with me, and then the other people would just be screaming at me for the things I'm trying to tell them that we need to stop, and it was a revolving doorway. I was like naked and trapped in a corner, figuratively speaking. I'm glad you got out. I see you said I was in a place like that. I'm really happy you got out, because nobody deserves this. This world is too precious. We're too precious for that kind of stuff to happen. We don't need it. After COVID, especially, something changed. I went from Longmont, Colorado, down to Albuquerque, right around COVID time 2 years ago, and I could see everybody. It was like all the people that were actually outside were the Karens. That's why we started making fun of them like that. But it wasn't a Karen thing, and people don't realize that. This world gained massive sociopaths through the COVID lockdown. People went crazy, and it really exposed the true colors of all these narcissists. So they think they got some sort of edge, like they're the correct ones, but it's it's hard to describe. It really is, right? I mean, and when you really look at it, so many narcissists are there, and they're all grouping together, which is a weird thing because 10 years ago that wasn't happening. Narcissists were kind of like their own thing, you know? And to live in a house with three of them was mind-boggling. And they're getting along now. Now that I'm not there being beaten down all the time, they're getting along, I guess. And that's why, you know? Yeah, they do. And they steal that energy. They see somebody who's nice and happy, and they've got to pick on them and belittle them and bully them. And once they can break that person's happiness is when they're happy. They're not happy seeing somebody else smile. And I'm always a happy person. Yeah, it's really true. It's ridiculous. And they beat you when you're down too. When they see that you're hurting and they got you good, they keep on going because they know that they've triggered you. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't do that too. You know, because um, he would have won in the end, and that's what they want. You know, you burn his house down, and then all of a sudden he's happy because he'll get insurance out of it or something, and he got what he wanted out of you. He was able to break you down to that point. You know, and that's what they want. Bad karma. Yep. And it'll all come back to him. You know, that's the world we live in. Um, if it's not now, you know, or 5 years from now, eventually, it's gonna come back. They don't just, you know, nice people finish last, but we finish on top in the end, and that's the biggest blessing we have, you know, through a life of negative Nancy's, I guess. You know, I'm definitely a target for narcissists. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, and you too. Uh, Seems like you got a good head on your shoulders, and that's good. You know, this they're really after the ones, you know, that they think they can control, and when they see they can't control somebody, they move on to that next person. And you know, luckily you're free, and luckily I'm free. You know, we got away from it, and you know, it's not as when you're in the position, you almost feel like, yeah, killjoys. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it's pathetic. It really is. You know, I don't like calling people pathetic normally, but it really is. To see somebody enjoying hurting somebody is one of the most messed up things in the world. And you should have seen them when my dog was being poisoned, man. I mean, he was he had internal bleeding and he was peeing blood. I thought he was, you know, got through the night. I mean, I stayed up with him all night. I was using a straw to force water down his throat. Bought some electrolytes, some, you know, non-flavored Pedialyte, and I called animal control, and because she's a nice lady in a small town, and I asked her if she could come over and look at my dog's urine, and as soon as he peed and she saw how dark that was, and it wasn't brown or it was just blood red, she picked him up and said, "We got to go to the vet right now. Your dog's not going to make it." And I took him from her and I said, "Well, we'll follow you because Sensi will freak out in your car and probably hurt himself more. He has a massive separation anxiety from me." And we get there and we set up, they put him on medicine, put a couple injections in his neck, and for one day he had nice gold pee again. And then for maybe 4 or 5 more days, I had to sit there and watch the blood staining the concrete everywhere. It looked like a death field. It was disgusting. And he had the surgery, and they said that he had crystals built up so much from such a short amount of time that it was stabbing through his kidneys and his liver or something like that. It's sad, right? It really is. I mean, it can be good, but not at the same time. You know, it builds a pack, you could say, when you get them past that point. But at the same time, they're never gonna get rid of that separation anxiety because you've saved their life, and now they can't see their life without you. I don't. It's hard to describe, right? Uh, It's sad. I went on a vacation a few years ago to Las Vegas, and I paid a few $100 to have somebody dog sit, each dog. Sensi went with a professional one. That was like almost $400. But within a couple of days of me being gone, she called up and said that he was. Yeah. Sensi, he lays right over on my shoulder at nighttime, and then he likes putting his face on my neck too. It's adorable, right? They really make you feel special. I think that's my gasoline in life is my dog's love for me. It makes me feel, out of a life of being taken advantage of, to have lives like them appreciate what I do for them so much. It erases a lot of that hate, I guess you could say. I don't know how well I would do if I didn't have dogs through these sort of situations, because you really, it's like you have a little buddy to talk to that doesn't talk back, and you just get through it. Yeah, yep. My first dog, Bubby, back in 2011, I pulled him. I think I was saying that earlier. I pulled him from Maine to Tennessee. It took us 4.5 months, and I walked the whole way. And we started off with 6 people, and by the time I got to Tennessee, it was just me. The last person had left in Maryland. So, but I wanted my dog to see the world. He was dying. He had hip dysplasia, curvature of the spine, digestive failure. He was blind, had no teeth, and then liked to walk around in circles a little bit. He was kind of off in the head. So my whole life was just built around him. I mean, I had to hold his tail up when he would look at me when he had to go to the bathroom, and I'd have to hold the tail up so that he could squat and poo. And selflessness, dogs really show you that there's more to this life than we know. Love is the most important thing in this world, and it's one of the biggest things we're missing right now in the world. And compassion too. And a dog will always show you those. I mean, not all dogs, obviously, but somebody who has a good heart, and like you said, is selflessness, is an amazing fur dad or fur mom. And it's real sad. It's real sad that there's a lot of dogs being controlled by people that are bad. Actually, my brother lives in Virginia. He works for the Internet Security Branch of Homeland Security. He's out in Burke, Virginia. I went through Arlington on that trip. So, there's a possibility that I could be near Virginia, honestly. I'm not too sure, but I think I do. The Green Trail, that's in Virginia, I believe, or on the outskirts. They're trying to connect through Route 1 going all the way down with bicycle trails. And that's kind of what we tried taking, but they only had like 20 or 30% of it complete at the time. So there was a lot of back roads and stuff. Of the Capitol Trail? I haven't, no. How far does that one go? Is that kind of just like the area, or is it like a branch off of the green? Maybe that's its new name. That was like 2011, and it was all still being built. Maybe it's now called the Capitol Trail. Yeah, that could be the same trail then. When I was younger, it was, honest to God, from Maine all the way, down to Massachusetts or something. We cut over to Pennsylvania, and then up into New York and whatnot. But it continued down, and it would have followed the whole coast all the way down. Oh, interesting. That might be a different trail then. That's pretty cool. See, I'm glad they're doing stuff like that nowadays. We need to be reusing things. We really do, because there's too much abandoned this, that, and everything else. The U.S. is turning into a ghost town virtually. But that's pretty cool. I highly suggest it because things like that, uh, it's not like the Appalachian Trail or something, you know, because honestly, the Appalachian Trail is real dangerous, you know. I commend you for going 9 days through the Appalachian Trail. That's amazing to me. A lot of people can't even make it 2 days, so or even overnight. So I give you a lot of props for that. I would definitely try one of those trails because they do an amazing job on flattening them and paving them through a lot of that trip. You know, the distance and everything. And I can only imagine that if it's a railroad track, it's probably a nice wide strip to take. That would be pretty righteous. And trains go through the forests and everything like that, so you'd have a lot of dispersed camping, I bet. That's kind of one of the things that's getting me through this trip is the sheer amount of BLM land and dispersed camping areas from the national forests. So I highly suggest trying that. You know, hey, you never know. Maybe in a month or two, or in a month, I'll be over that way, and maybe you're feeling froggy, and then we can hike up that thing together. You know, probably not, but hey, you never know, right? You never know. It's a small world like that, so there's a few people I want to meet up with on this trip actually, and I think it'd be pretty neat to meet up with folks in a safe way, you know. And you seem like a real chill person, and yeah. So I've met a lot of weirdos on my YouTube, to be honest, and even this guy skateboarded across America, and I had kind of a situation. I thought it was most of his fans. Excuse me, Jesus. Most of his fans thought he had his own money on the trip, and that he was donating all of his GoFundMe money to an organization that helps with addiction and everything. Which, I mean, I put my heart out to him. He's, you know, that's great that he did that. I have a GoFundMe that I'm going to be working on tomorrow morning, and well, actually, let me finish that story first. He had everyone convinced virtually and didn't tell any of them when they said, you know, put a comment up that said, yeah, it's so amazing that you're donating all that money in the GoFundMe to the organization. And, you know, he would just be, you know, yeah, that's cool. But then come to find out at the end of the trip, I went on the GoFundMe to check it out, and he was only donating 10% of it, or 15%, I can't remember, but he had raised $48,000. And while that's great, you know, at the same time, I wonder how many of those folks thought that all of it was going towards the donation pool, like I did and everyone else I saw online post. So it's our own faults, you know, it's our own ignorance for not reading it. But when I did read it, you know, somebody I mentioned it on his comment area. I said, "Oh, I thought you were donating all of that." And I said, "But really, you're only giving like 15,000 or something to the organization. You're keeping like 35,000 for yourself." And for me, I just think that's a little off. You know, if you're going to donate to something, 10% isn't much. So the GoFundMe I'm making is going to donate 30% to the Epilepsy Foundation. And I don't expect to get anything really, honestly, because I don't have many viewers or anything, not many subscribers. But I think it'll be nice, and it's going to give me a lot of pride, because I have epilepsy, and I know how mistreated I've been my whole life due to this disease. So we need more research done on epilepsy, because it's very misunderstood. 1 in 25 people gets epilepsy within their life. And it's one of the most understudied diseases in the world right now. And more people get it than, what is it, like multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, and then something else combined. There's more epileptics that come aboard each year. So it's a very solitary life. But I mean, that's the direction we're going in this world, you know. So, this is the only bad thing that's ever happened to me. When I was in Boulder, Colorado, I got smashed in the tooth 4 years ago with a Glock, a 9mm. They tried robbing me for my dogs in my dog trailer. So, It's a long, strange trip, as they say. Oh boy, I've been kind of talking non-stop, haven't I? Jeepers creepers. Yeah, I think, oh. Oh, nice, nice, right on. Oh, that's right. That's right. We talked the other, I feel like an idiot right now. We talked just the other day, didn't we? About you're doing the fold-out bike trailer. So it's gonna be what, like 3 foot something, and then 6 foot, 3 foot 2 to 6 foot 4, I believe, if something like that. That's awesome, man. I'm happy to see you back. Yeah, it's I think you'll really enjoy it. I think half done, nice, nice. Yeah, I really envy you for the motor that you put on it, actually, because if I didn't have the puppies, or maybe I had a long exhaust I could push into the back, that would be such a smart idea to attach onto my bike. But maybe I can figure something out like that on the road. You never know. But yeah, I think that's really smart. You got both options there. And all right, so something weird actually that happened to me just yesterday, and maybe you can figure this one out, because I don't get it. So let me switch you around real quick so I can kind of show you. So the Jackery, the top is what I'm drawing in from my solar panel, or if I put a plug in there, usually around 60 to 65 watts. The bottom one is, what I'm drawing out of the box. My bike takes about 120 to 150 watts of power to start charging. Yesterday, I started charging it, and I plugged the solar panel in at the same time. It was at 99%, and then it was drawing about, let's say, like 128 to 135. Oh, go on to eBay. Go to eBay if you're gonna get one, because Moose, stop. Jackery has a factory outlet on eBay, and that's where I got all of mine. I mean, granted, they're still expensive, but they're marked on there for like $179, and then you can make an offer. I got them down to $150 with free shipping for the product. So, and then you still get the 2-year warranty. But the best part is they send me one that it was like brand new. I couldn't see any scratches, any nothing. The solar panel, same thing. There was no scratches. It was perfectly brand new. And you still get the 2-year warranty, but you're paying half price for it. So, I mean, you can't beat that. But that's the trick, is having the money for it, because it's not like that's easy to throw around. I lucked out a little bit because I sold my property. Yeah, exactly. I think personally, if you could make it work, because you're using one of the front hubs, it really is actually. Oh man, it really is. I traded my Xbox One for another Solar Saga 100 watt panel, and it only gets half the wattage. It runs at like 30% or something. But I had just lost the warranty within a month of trading my Xbox. And I really think that's why the guy decided to get rid of it, was he knew his warranty had expired. But yeah, once I get done with this trip, both Jackery and the Jackery and the solar panel are gonna get sent back, and I'm gonna get new ones again, so I can keep them in tip-top shape, because they do start bending a little bit and stuff like that. It's real high maintenance too. You gotta I got them all wrapped up right now, and then wrapped up in a tarp after, so I gotta have all that extra junk. But I'm really thinking that once the weather cools off a little bit, I actually can plug the solar panel in to the Jackery, and then plug the Jackery into the bicycle, because I believe the Rad Rover pedals or you can pedal it while it's charging. I don't think they've done, because I've had it in my house before, and as it's charging, I've lifted up the back, and it works. So I really think I can get around having, instead of having like a battery and an inverter, and then the solar panel, the Jackery has sine wave technology in it, which is actually the top of the line inverters now. So in all, yeah, technically I could hook it all up and ride like that. It would be a trickle charge, but at the same time, if uh, I ran the Jackery yesterday for an hour, and it went down to 97%, but then it went up to 100% again. I was gaining power, even though I was drawing more power. Figure that one out. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I was only putting in 65, and I was drawing out like 130, and it went up in percentage. It went 97 to 100%. I don't get it. So, but yeah, so it could be a trickle charge, and if I do it in the daytime and I hit it just right at that, the high 90%, maybe I can somehow just continue on. Maybe. It's hard because those big hills, my battery drains on the hill. So I can't imagine, because it takes a couple hours to charge the thing. I can't imagine that it's gonna keep up like that. I feel like I'm draining more with the torque and everything like that. I am definitely a step away from throwing away my tires and putting on some new tires, though. Yep, that's for sure. That's kind of I got stuck at the Conoco station because I couldn't get the sun. It was cloudy, and I was basically just there all day long for 2 days. But yeah, you get stuck sometimes, that's for sure. I think that's the real big benefit of the solar panel, is you'll get stuck a little bit, but at least your freedom's stuck. You're not confined to a store that could mess with you, or I don't know. I get worried personally that cops are gonna see my setup, and then screw with me, because it's a big setup. Um, at first I look weird because I'm open carrying. Yeah, yep, that's very true. Right now I have 4 tubes for the fat tire, and then I have 4 tubes for the trailer. The front two are not, or the front four aren't slime tires, but I have Tannis armor in there. That's the thick padding inside of my tire, so I don't get any. It will only be like a nail that can basically pop my fat tire bike. Thankfully, you have to buy with the Tannis armor. You got to buy smaller. Why is my phone unplugged? Well, that's weird. Just noticed I drained my phone. It's a constant thing, always charging. I remember 20 years ago, I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. You just went out with a couple things, and you did your camping. And nowadays, it really seems like if I didn't have the power outlets that I do, I might be screwed. But it could be technology messing with me too. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. I don't know why I drink coffee late at night, but it honestly doesn't really affect me for sleep. My body is so weathered from the trip that as soon as I lay down, I'm just like out. It's kind of nice. But it's a cold night tonight. I'm getting closer to the mountains, and I got goosebumps and my hands are frozen, so I can mildly see my breath. That's when it's a little bit cold, I guess. Yeah, amazingly, I haven't even popped a tire yet. I haven't gotten a flat or anything, and I'm really, really astounded with that, actually. The back ones especially. I thought the trailer was going to end up popping tires real easy, and it's going to be hard. Yeah, yeah, it really is humid, honestly, man. Like, I'm sticky right now, too, so it sucks. But, I mean, that's the mountains for you, right? The funny thing is I was gonna go. Oh, I almost said the name of the town, but I was gonna go up to 12,000 feet and then I was highly warned against it because not only I don't. Oh, no, not on the back trailer. I wish I had fat tires on the back trailer. I think that would be. I could pump them up solid, and I would get faster. I would make more tracks, I think. But no, they sell trailers like that. I can't remember what the company name is, but it almost looks like it's a stretcher on wheels. It's kind of interesting. They made them for deer hunting, which, as far as I remember, I believe that the fat tires were originally created to get deer out of the woods. Like the M2S All-Terrain was one of the first hunting bicycles, they called it. But they make a trailer nowadays with those fat tires, but I believe it's 20-inch tubes that come with those, or 26 or something like that. No, I think it's 20-inch actually. I got just on that one is the fat tires, and then this one got those are 20-inch by 1.75 on the back. That's weird. Somebody just flashed a flashlight out of that car down at me. Yeah, I got with the Tannis armor inside of the big or the electric bike. You got to get smaller tubes for it, which is interesting. But I mean, you're adding another quarter to a half an inch inside of the tire itself. So I think I run it's. 3 to 4 or 2.5 to 3.5. I can't remember exactly, but it's significantly smaller. If I try and put a 4-inch tire in there and I pump it up, it immediately goes flat, and it's not even getting a pop tire. It's just pinching itself. You know, it's kind of weird. So but it's all expensive. That's the problem with e-bikes. They're ridiculously pricey. I mean, the new tires I got were $150. And you can't find them anywhere. It's like everywhere as you call, they're always out of them. There wasn't one bike shop in town or anywhere in even New Mexico I could find that not only they wouldn't fix the tires because of the electric plugs, but they didn't even sell them or anything like that. And the funny thing is a lot of these shops they sell them out as soon as they get them in, but they don't buy them. So that was kind of the problem. I had to order them on Amazon, and I think it was like the Bicycle Guys or something like that I bought them off of, and I got Juggernaut Sports, so they're Kendas, just like the original tires on there, luckily. And the Juggernaut Sports are they got a little bit better of a tread for the kind of trip I'm doing, and they're wired too. I think the Sport is the only wired. I know the Pro, I think, has clenchers too. Anyways, yes sir. The puppies are nice and they're out like a light. You know, it's warm inside of here. I did some I put some incense in here earlier, and even with the door open, they're heating it up quite nice. So it's a pretty big tent. Not too big though. It's a two-person. It weighs a little bit too much, and that's a big problem. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say this. When you were saying about the donation thing, that's always appreciated. And you know, I am a man of my word. So the thing about being out here, and the good thing about the GoFundMe is anywhere as I go, I don't ask for money or anything, but people literally give me money. Hold on, let me turn it around. I hear something. Hopefully it's not an animal. Oh. Oh, what? Gotta get my dog's bowl. Put my backpack under there tonight. I can't really fit it inside of here. It's a little bit too much. So. Right. So I hope you don't take this offensively, but I do smoke marijuana. It helps my epilepsy, especially at the end of the night. So I am gonna take a toke real quick, but I think I think it's legal on. Well, it's legal here, so it's legal on YouTube. I'm not breaking the law, right? It just looks like a crackhead thing because I didn't want to bring nice heck yeah. I didn't want to bring a pipe on me because of the open carry and federal law and everything like that. So just I buy a soda at the store and I cut it and I can make 2 pipes out of it. At the RV resort I stayed at for like 4. Oh, man, I'm burping like crazy. I stayed at for like 4 or 5 days. One of the maintenance guys ended up giving me some hash, and I'm not even halfway through that yet. So, but some nice cold press hash. He gave me like 4 grams of it. It was pretty ridiculous, but I gave him a bunch of stuff too. I gave him my vape. It was a Vupu. It was a really nice vape. Oh boy, what else? I gave him a bunch of clothes and a hex. I had an extra light for my 9mm, and I'm using a cheap one right now, but it's called a TLR S1, and my other one was like a $150 light I got from the Warriors Revolution in Longmont, Colorado, and well, I always get so sketchy out here when you hear like the grass move and shit. Gotta be on point. So I bought it off them, but the problem was, and it was a blue light. It was really nice, but the mini C batteries that came with it. Thanks, yeah, for real. And the odd thing is I've never even used it once. I've had it for 2 years. I bought it brand new, and I haven't even went to the firing range with it. I'm actually kind of, not to sound weird, I'm actually pretty excited to find a place out here on this trip that's far enough away to where I can actually go to the range. I mean, it's like having a 20-year-old fire extinguisher, and then you get in a fire and you say to yourself, "Oh, but no, that it's still a fire extinguisher. It should still work." I feel like if I don't end up I mean, for all I know, there could be a jam, and then I go to use it when I need it, and then it doesn't work. And that's kind of what I was worried about. It's a Taurus G3, so it's not the best, but it's comparative to the Glock 19. You can buy the same micro-roni for it, for the conversion kits to make it into a rifle. And a lot of the clips for the Glock 19 fit into it. It's a nice piece. But I hate the federal law. That shit's bullshit, Yep, love weed. I remember up in Maine, they said, I know, the wind fucking sucks. In Maine, Dr. Sulak would always say, "Oh, if you blow out any smoke, you're blowing out medicine. Keep on sucking it in." But yeah, I'm kind of worried about mountain lions and stuff like that on the trip. Why does my phone keep on? Oh, I unplugged it like a fool. That's why. Where is that plug? Come on. All right. Yeah, the cold weather doesn't really like my phone doesn't like charging that all that well. Yep, my biggest fear too. Honest to God, that's why I put the chicken wire on the dog kennel, because I knew one of these times I was going to be traveling outside, and yeah, or outside at nighttime. And the first thought in my head is I have 3 10 to 12-year-old dogs, and like any 10 or 12-year-old dog, they smell like infection. You know, they just got that old dog smell to them. And that's prey to a cougar or a bear or coyotes. The last trip I took, I had 6 coyotes chasing me through Red Bank in Colorado, and it was scary, man. My battery was dying. I was going like 20 miles an hour. I thought my trailer with the dogs in it was going to flip because I was going so fast, and I could see the fence right in front of me to get through, and my battery was blinking, and I'll be honest, I was screaming and crying my eyes out because I really thought they were going to get me and the dogs. But we made it out of there alive, and it was just like a movie. As soon as I crossed through that fence, they stopped at the fence, and they didn't want to go through. So I lucked out by the skin of my teeth there. But I really think I'm going to run into something on this trip, and I don't think necessarily I'm going to have to kill an animal, but I think I'm going to have to, you know, make the loud bang to scare it. I'm kind of a positive hunter. I like to give them a warning shot first. Unfortunately, it's, you know, in the world we live in, it's a war for them, and they're not doing anything but what they're supposed to do in life, so I don't blame the cougars for doing that, but at the same time, I'm not going to let them take me. You know, it's crazy. There's a lot of coyotes out here, too. And a weird thing, and I've already stumbled across this 2 times on this trip. The coyotes will send over a female coyote to my tent, and they'll come, I'll show you too. They come right over to the edge. It's never on any of the sides. It's always on the corner, right across, you know, like that's my head. It's always on the corner where my head is. So it makes all these cute noises, like and scratches at the tent, and then it'll run off and then run back over and do the same thing, and then make these like almost like mating call sounds or something, and it gets my corgi going. If I opened up the tent, he would go run out and think he was frolicking with this coyote. But what they're doing is they're sending the coy one in to make a quote-unquote friend, and then they lure that friend over to the pack, and the pack kills him. So it's manipulation on, yeah, trying to draw it out. Yep, manipulation on a higher level, or on a wild animal level. It's pretty sketchy. In Boulder, I was sleeping up on the Boulder Mountain there for a couple months, actually, a few years ago. I saved up and got an apartment because I was just drinking, but towards the end of it, the whole reason I left that mountain was I was walking up to my campsite, and I had been told by locals that it was that time of the year for cougars and mountain lion, or yeah, for the lions up there, cougars, and I never saw them, but it was just that time of the year where they were at the lower area of the mountain. It was towards the end of the day, and somebody had said to me that, okay, so the conversation had to do basically with me not seeing them, and the person had said to me that, well, the reason you're not seeing them is because when they're stalking around here, they climb up into the trees and they look down. And I started looking up for a few days, and I saw one maybe 50 yards from my camp, and it was looking at my camp because I didn't break down my tent. I was so tucked away, and it was just so heavy. I climbed like an hour and a half up that mountain every day up, and then an hour and a half every day down, and it was just there staring. So I left my tent. I left everything in my tent, and I never went back. I ended up oh boy, that's when I went into the warehouse, and I started doing warehouse work, sleeping in the warehouse in trade for the M2S all-terrain that I had mentioned, and took that first trip. That trip was gonna be like 1,850 miles to Miami, Florida. Ah, thank you. Yes, you always got to make like really, really fine-tuned decisions. You know, it's definitely survival at its best. you feel alive living like this, you know? You really do. Yeah, I never went back. I ended up telling a few people too, a few of the hikers as I was climbing down the mountain, and the coming weeks later too. I said, hey, there's a tent up there, and you can have everything inside of it. You can have the tent. I said, just be careful because of the mountain lions. I told a man and a woman, a homeless couple too, and honestly, I really hope they went up there and got it because they needed a place to sleep, and they didn't have the animals that were drawing in the predators. It was just them. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty dangerous. I don't think I'm going to see anything out here though, because I haven't even heard anything. And I haven't heard any cries or any barks or any yelps. It's pretty quiet out here. But that could be a bad thing. That could mean that it's because they're watching me right now. That little move of grass I heard earlier, for all I know, that could be a cougar just sitting there watching me. That's how sketchy those fuckers are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. The only sound is the cars. And probably in about an hour, that's going to end too. I'm really out in the middle of nowheres. Oh, no, I won't get paranoid. I'm one of those guys that would love to see a witch or, experience some aliens and stuff like that, Bigfoot or something. If I died like that, I think I would be pretty rocking. I mean, I don't want to die like that, but I'd be that dude that people could say, yeah, he fucking disappeared, Steve, let's write a book about him. Whatever happened to that guy? I don't know. That'd be pretty sweet to see a ghost or something like that, honestly. I've never seen a ghost. I've seen maybe one flying saucer in my whole life. Nothing past that. Uh, that's weird. Then you see all these stories. It's weird believing in that stuff but never seeing it because I'm a realist. I try to be a realist and look at everything from a basic spectrum. Yeah, no, they do. They really do. Yeah, because when I was saying about the sounds that the one makes in the corner, that's kind of what it was doing. It almost sounds like the crying and screaming, like a banshee or something like that. You can relate it almost to like the cry of a hyena, from what I've been told. So sketchy, right? When I started my trip in Maine, I had this friend who was Somalian, and he asked me if he could come on the trip, and I said there's gonna be wild animals. And he said, "Oh, is there gonna be raccoons on this trip, man? I don't want to go if there's gonna be raccoons. I don't want to get attacked." Yeah, for real. I mean, they're sketchy. Coyotes are very ballsy, and they will bite at your tent and try and play with it to rip it out. They won't like full on attack your tent to get in, but they'll literally chew on it and scratch it to try and get in. So they're not friendly, and they'll wait there. I mean, I generally, even if I have to piss, I have no headroom in there, but I get a bottle in there to use. I'll kneel down and go to the bathroom instead of getting hurt out here. It's definitely sketchy. Always sleep with like either the gun or a knife right next to you. That's priority, most definitely. Bear mace. Actually, bear mace is probably the cheapest way to get protection out here. Anybody that says different, I would rather have bear mace instead of a knife in the woods, and that's honest to God. The bear mace is 100% will hurt the animal, and they will run away. It's crazy painful, that bear mace. But I don't have any of that, so. But I mean, again, I have the other protection, so that's fine. It's literally always right next to me. I do that for a reason. But normally I have it out a little bit more. Oh, I painted it too, by the way. I used some nail polish on that. So It doesn't look bad though. It's got a little hair on it, but it's a nice piece. I have a couple extra clips too. Over in there, I've got like a little. Yeah, not bad. Oh man, no, it sucks, right? When I was working at University of New Mexico well, obviously in Albuquerque, and on my last week, I had my bear mace in my bag. This bag I have now, which took about a week for me not to. It was getting in my lungs, all over my fingers every time I went in my bag, and but it ended up going off inside of my locker, and everybody was running downstairs and coughing, and then coming back up saying, there's something in the air down there. We don't know what it is, but we're gagging. And God, I lost my train of thought because I just heard a dog. Anyways, yeah, so I went down there, and when I got my bag, I didn't think anything of it, and then it sprayed again in my bag, and everybody down there, 3 girls and one dude, got maced, and it was all in the throat. It was disgusting. I couldn't stop coughing all night, but it wasn't the cough. You could feel it on your skin, and it fucking burns your skin. It's crazy. Yeah, I have a big buck knife too, and I have 2 axes. One of them's a Calhoun axe. It's really nice. So it's got a nice titanium head. Hey, that's a good idea actually. And then you could just wrap. Then it can't push down, right? That's the benefit. I never thought about that. Yep, that's exactly how it happened. I stuffed it inside of my locker, and for some reason it went off. Like something must have shifted in it and pushed on it, and then it went off. Yeah, it sucks now. Literally every time I touch the bag, but it's not right now. But it's now that I'm thinking about it, I've got. Oh man, uh, I'll end up showing that one. I have it all. All my boxers and all my socks are in the same pocket that mace was in, and I haven't thought about that till right now. And I had a couple of pairs already inside of the top space, so I haven't even. I gotta wonder if maybe I should wash those ones again before I put them on. That I wouldn't want to have that burning on the trip. Oh, I see what you're saying. Kind of like yeah, okay, like protection, so it doesn't go through as easy. I didn't think about that actually. See, I was thinking duct tape, huh? I guess you wrap it around the head, but no, for that makes sense. Yep, and it's like oh, what's a good way to I don't even know how to describe, like, with the tires, when you got the tire liners in them to protect it. That's a good idea. It's the duct tape works as like a liner. Mhm. I wish I had some too. Oh man, I had some Luger. Is it no Ruger mace that I forgot up at the down in the house I was at. That sucks. I left a couple of things over there. Like I left some of my medicine. I left a couple of knives that I really wanted, and kind of a bummer. It's interesting that there's 2 people watching, and I don't think that the other person has said anything yet. Well, that's not a bad thing. I guess it's an interesting story. I talk a lot. It's kind of one of the things about epilepsy, and I guess I'm hyper in general. But the seizure disorder kind of gets me like charged up, and the coffee doesn't. That's the odd thing. The coffee winds me down, but and so does the herbs, of course. But yeah, I'm always talkative. I'm always just wired, right? Yeah, story time is fun. I wish they had options on YouTube though, where like other people could join in, and join in on the video chat or something like that. I would totally forgot that it was this way. So it makes sense why there's two. That is because somebody doesn't want to talk; they just want to watch, and I think that's pretty badass. I'll be honest. After this cigarette, I'm probably gonna end the chat and then pass out. But I'm doing also a morning chat too. I'm gonna do a 9 o'clock and then have a big group, maybe a group chat. I think that, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty interesting to see if I could build some sort of a community. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think it'd be pretty neat. It'd be a positive community, and that's always needed in this world. I answer 100% of my messages, and we'll always find ways to work around the guidelines to try and get contact info to people, and it's a good way to be. There's too much weirdness on YouTube. They're really trying to conform it and turn it into a kind of a government affair. I mean, it is a government affair nowadays, unfortunately. It's like Viacom to cable TV. Viacom is like Rupert Murdoch. Basically, one man or whatever owns half of the television networks. It's ridiculous. God, it's weird going from where I was just at, it wasn't this cold, and then being here, and it's shivers and goosebumps and stuff. It's amazingly cold over here. I mean, I got 2 winter hats on, and maybe it's because I don't have my winter jacket. I'm just wearing a little sweater, but it's not bad. I mean, I'm going back to the East Coast, so I mean, it's going to be colder there. I don't mind. I grew up in Maine. My brother actually, he went in. Yeah, it really is. I like it. Honestly, it's comfortable. I never minded the cold. I actually kind of miss it. It sucks when. Oh, it looks like we lost somebody. It sucks when it's too hot all the time. I don't know how to describe it. But cold weather is really nice. It's good for your body. It's good for your mind, your soul. When we don't have it, we don't want it. So, a lot of people don't, and then they regret it. And yeah, I love the cold weather though. I used to love going out and snowboarding with my friends in Waterboro, and yeah, just growing up in the woods with the lake right down the road and everything. We had 2 lakes, so there was like a little a road that had one dam going into another underneath it, or no, it just had a flow pipe. I'm sorry, and it went underneath the road into the main lake, and or Ossipee Lake. That's what it was. Arrowhead Lake, and then there was an overflow pipe that went into Ossipee Lake. But it was beautiful, Anytime I wanted to fish, I could just like take a 1 mile walk down the road, and then I could fish. Can't do that around here. I mean, I could around where I'm at now, and I'm sure other places I'll be traveling, but where I'm going, I'll be able to do that, and that's nice. I miss all that stuff. Snowballs. Oh, I don't miss snow, honestly. I'll be honest, I never liked snow because my dogs don't like snow, and it's kind of oddly enough, a lot of the moves I make in life are strictly based around my dog's happiness. And these trips, even like that trailer, is just for their happiness. I didn't want them to be affected on the trip. I don't mind if I'm affected because I'm the human. We deserve whatever we get. We put ourselves in our situations, and We have nobody to blame for ourselves for anything, honestly. If we get hurt, you can always look back in some sort of way and say, well, shit, I kind of walked into that one, but I didn't see it. Um, and that's where we got to learn. And again, I hate saying that because I'm saying that very broad. I think there's some people truly have been put in situations and they were good people and they did nothing. And, but I mean, I did nothing. But one thing I did do was I moved into the house. Right on. I appreciate that very much. So I have a lot of video footage, and I'm running out of phone room. And I've been talking with Sam Bananas, or Camping with Sam on Patreon, and he said to me today that I've really got to start deleting everything that I'm making, because one thing he struggled with was deleting it after he uploaded the video. And he was thinking like, oh, I'm going to lose a memory. But in reality, it's going to be on YouTube forever. It's not going to go anywhere, and he can always download it again if he wants it. So, am I hearing something? There's something out there. Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. Honestly, yeah, isn't it beautiful? It's I couldn't help but come here, and my trailer came right off into this pretty easily. It was very serendipitous for where I ended up. And one gentleman, he lives in this rich neighborhood right up here, and he thought I was hurt. And when I said, no, I'm just camping, he said, oh, no worries. It's all good. You could stay. So, they're very welcoming. That's for sure. Yeah. It's a little bumpy of a field. It's got cracks everywhere and all these weird little bugs. But those are the things that that's the sacrifice you make for that beauty, and folks, those bugs aren't actually all that bad when you look at it in a different way. Like, it's a beautiful field. Oh, so yeah, he was saying the Gmail, and he said, just upload it to the cloud, and I'm gonna tomorrow hop on there, and I think they have the 100 or 200 gigs, and I'm just gonna get 200 gigs and upload it all onto there. Then I don't have to worry. And also, it stays out of my phone. And that's the most important thing. But worst case scenario, I just delete it after. Stop being like, I'm a hoarder for video footage. I'll make a video, and then then I'll download the video I made after from Y23 downloader. And yeah, it's weird. But God, I'm right at the bottom of this ridiculous hill right now, and I can look up to the top of the mountain, and that's where I see all the cars coming from, up this hill I gotta go up tomorrow. And the shitty thing is I'm gonna have, well, it's not shitty, yeah, maybe I'll make a new friend, but I have to pull off into somebody's driveway because, the driveways go off and flat. So there's gonna be no making it up that hill with a full battery. I'm gonna end up killing my battery and needing to recharge before I finish it. But now it's just all about making a smart choice. I see a couple of rich houses up there, and I got to make a choice as I'm going as to, judging my battery versus where I can pull off. But a trick I found is if I hop off my bike when I'm going up these hills, I'm taking me and my 80, 90 pound, I think I got maybe 80 pounds in my backpack right now. I'm taking that plus my 150, so 230 pounds off of the bike, and it runs a lot better. It goes up hills without using as much battery. And I don't mind walking it, Doesn't hurt me. I could just I could still use the throttle. Is the funny thing. It's got a little throttle on the side, and just walk it up. I gotta take breaks because with my backpack, yeah, it gets tiring. It's really overweight right now. There's a lot more traffic out here than there was yesterday. But it seems like it's dying down right now. They're just coming in kind of like flocks, which is probably from some sort of stop sign or some sort of curbs or something that pulls cars in or something up the road. Could be an intersection. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna head out of here now. And, oh, true. What time is it right now? 11:20. Yeah, you're right. Last night there was a dude that was racing around, and it seems like somebody had to piss or something. He ran to every single store and tried opening it, and then they all got diesel around here, so he sped off, and it was pretty erratic and hectic, whatever it was. Yeah, that's for sure. Actually, once I hop off of here, my tent is, you can't see the lights through my tent. It's pretty amazing. But I'm gonna get set up and then probably fall right asleep. I don't really like hanging out in my tent too much, and try to use it just for the dogs and for sleeping. But right now my tent door is open, so I'm kind of screwing myself. But there's something really quiet coming down the road right now. That's a car. Alright. I really hope I see some aliens on this trip, or a UFO or something. That'd be pretty cool. I look up at the stars a lot when I'm out here, because when you're in the city, you can't really see all the stars. But when you're out in the middle of nowheres, it's like you're in a different world. It's so nuts. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna end the stream. And go lay down. And this way, all right. Cheers, Tom. Pleasure talking with you, of course. And I have another stream tomorrow morning. So if you're awake and rounded about, I'll talk to you then. But if not, I'm gonna have many of them coming up. Of course, it's gonna be a long trip. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night. Now I gotta figure out how to end it. Alright. Later.